Many of us want to start our own businesses.
This week's experiment is building a business.
Start a small business.
Start a business.
If you have a dream, you just gotta go for it.
So I've always wanted to start a business. I think partially this comes from the fact that I've grown up in Waterloo, which is a very entrepreneurial city, and also my mom runs her own business, and I've been exposed to other entrepreneurs in my life, and it always has struck me as something that I've wanted to do. But I didn't ever want to start a business for the sole purpose of starting a business. I wouldn't want to sell something just to sell it. I want to sell something that I'm passionate about, that I really truly care about, because I think if I don't, then that business is just kind of doomed to fail. And so rather than starting a business ever, I've just decided to just live my life and just keep an open mind for any opportunity that might arise, any idea that I might come across, and be willing to take that risk when the opportunity arises. And, well, I think it's arisen. So I came across some inspiration to start a business in the notebook that I use and that I've been using in my videos for my daily planning. And I just kind of developed a method just by trial and error that a lot of people really liked and a lot of people started using and emailing me about, and I realized that, well, I'm drawing the same lines on a notebook every day. Why don't I just design that on a computer, have someone print it, and then I'll have physical notebooks that are my notebooks that I can sell to people. I really like that idea. So I figured if I'm gonna design this, I'm gonna design the best possible notebook that I can personally design. And so I came up with a list of things that I care about. So I didn't want any weird branding or fluff. I hate when notebooks do that, when they include a bunch of just random brands and logos and fill in this box here, fill in that box there. I didn't want any of that. Nothing beyond the essentials for what I was trying to do, which was my method of daily planning. I wanted it to be graph paper because I believe that graph paper is literally the optimal form of paper. It has everything that every other design of paper has, whether that be lined, dotted. It has everything, and it has squares. It's just better. So I want the notebook to be black, and the reason I want it to be black is because I carry my notebook around with me everywhere that I go, and to be honest, the white notebook that I have right now, kind of dirty, and it looks kind of gross, and that's not really what you want in a notebook. The notebook needs an elastic to stay shut, and it needs a bookmark, but just one. My current notebook has 2 bookmarks, and the one I don't ever use. So I want 90 sheets of paper for this, and the reason being is that I want each notebook to last for half a year. And I do this every day, and I know that I'm gonna miss a day here and there, so 90 seems pretty reasonable. Also, I want that paper, rather than being white, just like printer paper, I want it to be ivory, like a little bit off-white, because it looks better, in my opinion. And so with this list of constraints in mind, I got to work designing a notebook. So the first thing that I had to design was a brand. I needed to come up with some logo, some way of marketing this. And I thought, well, I call my notebook my growth book, and that's what I'm going to be naming this notebook when I sell it to people. And what's more indicative of growth than a tree? And from a computer science perspective, I've drawn trees with computer programs before using fractals. And so that's what I did. I made a fractal tree. I wrote a program to generate it, and honestly, I think it turned out really well. So with the branding in place, it was time to work on the hard part of the design, which is the inner pages of the notebook. So I've been doing this by hand for a little while, so I knew kind of what I wanted it to look like. But I'm not a very experienced graphic designer, really never used Illustrator before, so it was a big learning process, and I bounced it off a lot of my friends, my family, my graphic designer friends, and eventually, after a bunch of iterations, I arrived at a copy that I was really happy with, that I thought represented what I would want in an optimal notebook. And so I decided that I was going to send it off to a printer. But this video was just about the inspiration behind the notebook and designing the notebook, and we've reached the end of that. And so there's going to be a bunch of videos in this series. Right now I have 5 planned, and there could be more. And so if you're interested in following along with this, I definitely recommend subscribing to the channel so that you can get notifications for when I upload new videos on this. If you're interested in the notebook itself, then I recommend that you subscribe to my email newsletter. There's a link to that in the description of this video. So when I launch the Growth Book, I'm going to be sending out a few copies to a few lucky subscribers to that newsletter. So it is most definitely in your best interest to be subscribed to that if you're interested in the growth book. So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon.